In my previous video, I gave an introduction on what HTML is, and in today's video, we're going to cover the anatomy of an HTML element, or what a HTML element is and how it really works. So let's kind of explore this example from MDN, Mozilla Developer Network. They have a great article on HTML here that I'm going to use to supplement this video. So here in this example here, you can see the kind of anatomy of this HTML element. And right here, this would be considered an HTML element. These p tags, the content, and then this p tag here. So first off, the opening tag. This consists of the name of the element, in this example, P for paragraph, wrapped in opening and closing angle brackets. So this right here is your opening tag. It is this p tag here, and it represents a paragraph, and you use a left angle bracket and a right angle bracket. This is the opening tag. This marks where the element begins to start to take effect. In this example, it precedes the start of paragraph text. And if it was like an H1 tag, it would signify the start of a header element text. And then you can see the second part of this element is the content. This is the content of the element. In this example is the paragraph text. So that is going to be right here. And then you also have the closing tag. This is the same as the opening tag, except that it includes a / before the element name. This marks where the element ends. Failing to include a closing tag is a common beginner error that can produce peculiar results. So here you can see the closing tag, and it's the same as the opening tag, except that it has this / right after your left angle bracket. So it goes left angle bracket, / the P, and then a right arrow bracket here. So the element is the opening tag, followed by the content, followed by the closing tag. So all this right here is considered the element. This is the opening tag, closing tag, and then your content. All right. And all this makes up an HTML element. And you can use different elements for various things. So you could have p tags, you can have input tags, you can have image tags, you can have header tags, you could have button tags, a whole bunch of different stuff. And then within those tags, you can kind of put some content that you want in your web page. And all of these elements are then used to structure your HTML, and then your browser will kind of know how to present that content to the user because of these different tags that you use. Now, you can also have tags within tags. And this is where we get into nesting elements. So elements can be placed within other elements. This is called nesting. If we wanted to state that our cat is very grumpy, we could wrap the word very in a strong element, which means that the word is to have stronger text formatting. So HTML used to have B tags, which would make an element bold, but that has been switched to strong. And it's going to kind of give it just like a darker appearance that makes it kind of stand out more strongly. And the way you do this is right here. So you still have your opening and closing p tags, and you still have my cat is very grumpy within it, but wrapping the word very, you can see that we have this strong tag. So we have the opening strong tag, closing strong tag, and then the content between. So this right here makes up an entire element, and it's within your overall paragraph element. So this says there is a right way and wrong way to do nesting. In the example above, we opened the P element first, then opened the strong element. For proper nesting, we should close the strong element first before closing the P tag. The following is an example of the wrong way to do nesting. So here in this example, you can see that it has the opening p tag, and then it has my cat is, and then the opening strong tag, and then you have very grumpy, and then it closes the p tag, and then closes the strong tag. So you can see that it's not like opening and closing the strong tag all within the p tag. It kind of opens the p tag, opens the strong tag, closes the p tag, closes the strong tag. And that is the incorrect way to do it. The tags have to open and close in the way that they are inside or outside one another. So it either has to be completely nested within an element or completely wrapping another element. It can't be like half in, half out. With the kind of overlap in the example above, the browser has to guess at your intent. This kind of guessing can lead to unexpected results. Okay, so you can nest elements within each other, but just make sure that it's completely nested with its opening and closing tags. Now you also have block versus inline elements. So there are two important categories of elements to know in HTML: block level elements and inline. Block level elements form a visible block on the page. A block level element appears on a new line following the content that precedes it. Any content that follows a block level element also appears on a new line. So a block level element creates a completely new line on the web page. And anything that comes after it is going to go on a new line as well. So it takes up an entire kind of row of your web page. And this goes on to say, block level elements are usually structural elements on the page. For example, a block level element might represent headings, paragraphs, lists, navigation menus, or footers. A block level element wouldn't be nested inside an inline element, but it might be nested inside another block level element. Now, inline elements are contained within block level elements. They surround only small parts of the document's content, not entire paragraphs or groupings of content. An inline element will not cause a new line appear on the new document. It is typically used with text. For example, an A element creates a hyperlink, and elements such as EM or strong create emphasis. So here in this example, they wrap the words first, second, and third in opening and closing EM tags. And then they also enclose fourth, fifth, and sixth in paragraph tags. And you can see EM is an inline element. As you see in the example below, the first three elements sit on the same line with no space between. So here you can see first, second, third. These all sit on the same line here because they are wrapped in an inline element. So they don't go to the next line, they all go in the same line, hence inline element. On the other hand, the P tag is a block level element. Each P element appears on a new line with space above and below. So here you can see fourth, fifth, and sixth, they all create a new line for these P tags because a P tag or a P level element is a block level element. So they all create a new separate line here. And this says the spacing is due to default CSS styling that the browser applies to paragraphs. So that is another important thing to consider. The browser does apply certain default styles to your different elements depending on what the element is. Like paragraphs get this default style, and then header elements will get a larger font size and different styles like that. All right. So you have block level and inline elements, and then you also have void elements. And it goes on to say, not all elements follow the pattern of an opening tag, content, and closing tag. Some elements consist of a single tag, which is typically used to insert or embed something in the document. Such elements are called void elements. For example, the image tag embeds an image file into the page, and you can see it right here. These will also be called like self-closing tags, in which you can see that you have the opening IMG right here with a left angle bracket, then IMG, and then you have a couple of different attributes here, which we'll cover attributes in my next video on HTML, but then you just have a closing tag. So you see, this isn't an opening tag, nor is it really a closing tag. This is just a self-closing tag, in which it opens and closes all within the same tag here. And this is considered a void element. All right, so certain elements, they don't have the same pattern of opening tag, content, closing tag. They just kind of self-close like this. But when you're using HTML and you're like, okay, I want to use an image, or I want to use this or that, at first, you can just look these up and you'll be like, okay, this is just a self-closing tag. This is how I use this. And then over time, you'll kind of get the hang of what elements are self-closing and kind of a better feel for how that works. And one quick thing before I wrap up elements here that I think that you should know is tags in HTML are not case sensitive. This means they can be written in uppercase or lowercase. And then it goes on to show an example that the title tag could be written as lowercase title, all uppercase title, capital case title or a collage of upper and lowercase letters. All those would work. However, it is best practice to write all tags in lowercase for consistency and readability. Okay. So that is what HTML elements are and how they work. In my next video, we will cover HTML attributes.